The DC Universe is home to many powerful beings, leading fans to compare their strength and abilities to determine who stands at the top. While most comic fans are familiar with iconic families like the Superman family, the Flash family, or the Endless family, a group of 7 siblings who each represent a fundamental aspect of reality, there's one family that surpasses even them in power. Lucifer Morningstar is often considered one of the most powerful beings in existence, with even Dream, one of the Endless, admitting he fears Lucifer. As a primordial being, Lucifer played a key role in the creation of the universe, but he didn't do it alone. He was aided by his family, a group of beings who have shaped all of existence. In today's video, we'll explore each member of Lucifer Morningstar's family, often referred to by fans as the Presence family, their abilities, and the roles they play in shaping the DC universe. If you are interested in reading Lucifer for yourself, we've included some reading recommendations in the description, along with a link where you can purchase the comic. Using our link helps support the channel, allowing us to create more content like this. Now, let's dive back into the video. The Presence. The first character that absolutely should be mentioned is the Presence, the head of not only his family but also the entirety of the DC universe. The Presence has a complicated history, making very rare appearances in comic books. He first appeared in More Fun Comics issue 52 all the way back in February 1940, taking the form of the Voice, an abstract entity that guided Jim Corrigan, the anti-hero known as the Spectre. Initially, the Presence was depicted as just another god in the DC universe, primarily appearing in the Spectre comics. It wasn't until the late 1980s that DC properly established him as the supreme being, retroactively elevating the Voice to the highest entity in the DC universe. In the Sandman comics, angels serving the Presence played a significant role in the story. Lucifer Morningstar also debuted in Sandman, where he is portrayed as resentful of his father, who crushed Lucifer's rebellion and cast him into hell, a scenario Lucifer believed was predetermined. The Presence himself is not directly seen in Sandman. Instead, he communicates through messages, such as when he sends instructions to the angel Remiel.
I have a message for you.
Very well, Remiel. What is it?
I do not know. Wait. Yes. Yes. I will relay the message. It is from my creator.
The Presence becomes an integral figure in the Lucifer spin-off series, which explores Lucifer's attempts to escape God's will. Even in this series, the Presence remains an abstract entity, communicating with angels through the Prima Mobile, a room in heaven accessible only to the highest-ranking archangels. Later, Lucifer and his brother Michael discover another way to converse with the Presence, using a room filled with mystical water. During their conversation, the Presence reveals his decision to leave creation entirely. This decision leads to the slow deterioration of the universe, as, according to Lucifer, the Presence's word was woven into every aspect of existence, and without him, everything would crumble. The Presence does not make a direct physical appearance until Lucifer issue 68. After taking on several different forms, he settles on the appearance of an elderly British man wearing a fedora, suit, and cane. He is portrayed as infinitely wise, compassionate, but also slightly cold and detached. At one point, he even considers erasing all of creation entirely. His power is immeasurable. As the creator of all existence, he states that he could just easily undo creation, as if it never existed. Ultimately, he decides to pass his godhood to his granddaughter, Elaine Belloc, and leaves creation behind. The Presence's final appearance is in Lucifer issue 75, the series' concluding issue. Here, he shares a final conversation with Lucifer in an empty void. Following this poignant dialogue, the Presence departs into nothingness, leaving creation entirely. Lucifer Morningstar. Lucifer Morningstar is perhaps the most popular character on this list, having not only several comic book series but also a highly popular TV show, though the show diverged significantly from the source material. Originally named Samuel, Lucifer is one of the 3 demiurgic archangels, the highest tier of angels in the DC universe, as only they possess divine power. Created by the Presence as tools to shape creation, each archangel was given a specific purpose. Lucifer's purpose was to will power into the stars, which would create life. Even in his earliest moments, Lucifer is seen questioning the Presence, objecting to his creator's authority and arguing that no one has the right to determine their actions. This sentiment eventually grew into a full-scale rebellion, during which Lucifer fought against God's forces and his own brothers. As a compromise, The Presence assigned Lucifer his own realm, a place furthest from God, which would later become Hell. Initially, his realm was a barren landscape, but it evolved around Lucifer, transforming into a place for the damned. Lucifer became the ruler of Hell, the devil of the DC universe.
You know, I still wonder how much of it was planned. How much of it he knew in advance. I thought I was rebelling. I thought I was defying his rule. No, I was merely fulfilling another tiny segment of his great and powerful plan.
During his time in Hell, he met Mazikeen, one of the daughters of Lilith, who would become his most loyal servant and companion, standing by his side until the very end of his story. Lucifer ruled Hell for billions of years, but eventually grew bored of its existence. To alleviate his boredom, he shared some of his authority with local demons, forming a triumvirate to govern Hell in his stead. After 10 billion years of ruling Hell, Lucifer decided to step down. Before leaving, he ensured that the key to Hell was passed on to someone else. When Dream, one of the Endless, ventured into Hell to confront Lucifer and rescue his lover, Lucifer saw an opportunity. He handed the key to Hell to Dream, viewing him as a rival. However, this gift was actually a heavy burden, as ruling Hell is notoriously difficult. Dream eventually passed the key to others, but this proved challenging, as several powerful beings, including gods from various pantheons, expressed interest, each offering Dream something in return. Ultimately, the Presence intervened and assigned two angels, Duma and Remiel, as the new rulers of Hell. Lucifer, now free from his duties, retired to Earth with Mazikeen and opened a piano bar in Los Angeles called Lux. However, his solitude was short-lived. The angel, Amenadio, visited him with a message from the Presence, tasking Lucifer with eliminating one of the voiceless gods. After completing his mission, Lucifer demanded the letter of passage from God. Using it, he opened a gate outside creation and set out to create his own universe. The Presence ordered Lucifer to cease his activities, which only angered him further. In defiance, Lucifer split the gate to his universe across the world, allowing anyone to enter and populate his new realm. He then revealed himself to the people and gave them one command: to worship no one, not even him. Several beings expressed interest in Lucifer's new realm, most notably the Besanos, a malevolent sentient pterodactyl that attempted to conquer the realm but failed. Angel Amenadio, who resented Lucifer, also tried to thwart his plans but was defeated by Lucifer in a duel. After the Presence left creation and Elaine Belloc became the new supreme being, Lucifer's creation merged with the existing universe. Following this, Lucifer left creation entirely, disappearing into the empty void, much like his father. His departure marked the end of his journey as he sought freedom from the constraints of existence and the will of others. Michael Demiurgos, the brother of Lucifer Morningstar, is often considered equal to him in power. Unlike his rebellious sibling, Michael is portrayed as a loyal servant of the Presence and the guardian of Heaven's Gate. However, even Michael begins to question God's plan as the story unfolds. Michael possesses demiurgic power, arguably the most potent source of energy in all of existence. His role was to release this power from within himself, while Lucifer was tasked with willing it into the stars to create life. Together, they represent the duality of creation and destruction, order and chaos. Following Lucifer's rebellion, Michael's weakened state made him vulnerable. A rogue angel named Xenophon captured Michael, seeking to use his genetic material to create an army of angels, each imbued with Michael's divine power. However, nearly all attempts ended in failure. Eventually, Lucifer confronted Xenophon and rescued his brother. Despite the rescue, Michael's condition remained critical, and there was a risk of him dying. If that were to happen, the release of his divine energy would have catastrophic consequences, wiping out all life in the universe. To prevent this, Lucifer dragged Michael into his own creation, where Michael died and was subsequently reborn. Lucifer then used the divine energy unleashed by Michael's death to will life into the stars, gradually spawning sentient life in his new universe. As the story progresses, Michael begins to question the Presence, especially after God's decision to abandon creation. Michael becomes desperate to save creation, while Lucifer remains indifferent to his fate, which deeply angers Michael. This tension between the brothers comes to a head when they must confront Fenris, an ancient being seeking to accelerate the destruction of creation. During the battle, Fenris possesses Lucifer and kills Michael. However, moments before his death, Michael passes his demiurgic power to his daughter, Elaine Belloc, who becomes the new vessel of this divine energy. Gabriel Hornblower, the third and final demiurgic archangel, completes the trio of primordial beings created by the Presence. While Michael was tasked with releasing divine energy and Lucifer with willing it into the stars, Gabriel's role was to impose form and pattern on the world as it cooled down. Despite being one of the 3 most powerful archangels, Gabriel appears sparingly in the original Lucifer series. However, he plays a more prominent role in Hellblazer, where his complex nature is explored in greater depth. Gabriel's actions are a mix of benevolence and cruelty. While he performed wondrous acts of kindness for humanity in service of God, he also committed atrocities, reflecting the duality of his divine purpose. His encounter with John Constantine, one of DC's iconic magicians, marks a turning point in the story. Constantine, known for his cunning and manipulation, plants seeds of doubt in Gabriel's mind about his faith and purpose. When Gabriel refuses to help Constantine with his cancer, Constantine tricks Gabriel into betting a demon disguised as a woman, leading to Gabriel's fall from grace. Stripped of his wings and even his heart, Gabriel becomes a fallen angel, cast out of heaven. After the events of the original Lucifer series, Gabriel is recruited by heaven to track down Lucifer Morningstar. In exchange for his service, he is offered the chance to regain his status as an angel. This mission kicks off the 2nd volume of the Lucifer comic. Other angels. Before delving into the other members of the Presence family, it's important to address the other angels featured in the comics, as they can also be considered Lucifer's siblings in a broader sense. While most of these angels play minor roles, often appearing in the background, a few stand out due to their significance in the story. The Presence explained that these angels, aside from the 3 demiurgic archangels, were created to serve as peers for the trio, individuals to whom they could compare their actions. Among these angels, Mello is an artist and creator, known for crafting the Basanos, a sentient and malevolent tarot deck. The Basanos became so dangerous that Mello was forced to keep them hidden. Despite his relatively minor role, Mello plays a pivotal moment in the story when he rescues Lucifer after the latter is nearly killed. Another notable pair is Duma and Remiel, 2 angels designed by the Presence to become the new rulers of Hell after Lucifer's retirement. While Remiel is portrayed as petty and resentful, Duma is more reasonable and level-headed. Duma is the guardian angel of silence and has only spoken a few times in the comics, making his words carry significant weight. Despite his role as the ruler of Hell, Duma aids Lucifer and his allies in the final battle. Amenadiel is another angel who harbors deep resentment towards Lucifer, never forgiving him for his rebellion against the Presence. When Amenadiel learns of Lucifer's plan to create his own universe, he mobilizes the armies of heaven and launches an attack against Lucifer. Lastly, there's Sandalphon, an angel who initially considers himself an ally of Lucifer. He even joins Lilith, the mother of demons, in her attack against Heaven's throne. However, Sandalphon is most notorious for capturing and imprisoning Michael, Lucifer's brother, in an attempt to use Michael's genetic material to create an army of archangels. Elaine Belloc. Although most of Sandalphon's attempts at creating angel offspring were failures, one proved successful. After the child was born, Sandalphon delivered her to a couple in London who had longed to adopt but couldn't. Raised as a human, she was named Elaine Belloc and exhibited unique abilities, such as communicating with the dead and seeing past events. Lucifer eventually discovered Elaine's significance in his grand plan and decided to rescue her, revealing her true nature. However, the Basanos, sentient tarot deck card seeking to conquer Lucifer's realm, attacked Elaine by sending a shape-shifting demon disguised as her adoptive father. The demon caused a tunnel to collapse on Elaine, forcing her spirit to flee her body and escape to Lucifer's universe. There, she witnessed Lucifer's defeat at the hands of the Basanos, but was unable to intervene. She eventually united with Mello, who had taken Lucifer's broken body deep into the mountains to hide from the Basanos. Mello, knowing only Lucifer could stop the Basanos, tricked Elaine into trading her life for Lucifer's. As Lucifer returned to life, Elaine's spirit was comforted by death of the endless. After her death, Elaine found herself in the Mansions of Silence alongside her best friend, Mona. Lucifer sent a rescue party to retrieve her soul, and despite some challenges, they succeeded. Elaine chose to return to life, and Lucifer appointed her as the guardian spirit of his creation, with Mona oddly requesting to become the guardian spirit of hedgehogs. Together, they became known as the Sisters of Mercy. Following Michael's death, his demiurgic power was transferred to Elaine, overwhelming her at first. With Lucifer's guidance, she learned to harness his powers and used it to create a third universe. Through trial and error, Elaine mastered her abilities, eventually forming a gate powered by the letters of her own name, allowing her and Lucifer to leave her new universe. In the final battle, Elaine ascended to the throne of heaven. After a profound conversation with the Presence, she became the new supreme god of the DC universe. Elaine united all three creations and proclaimed that this new creation would exist without hell, making a new era of existence under her compassionate and just rule. Cal. Cal is one of Sandalphon's failed experiments in creating angel offspring. Although he possesses some of the abilities of typical angels, he was sterile and unable to reproduce, which Sandalphon deemed unacceptable. Despite this, Sandalphon found use for Cal as a henchman, exploiting his loyalty and unquestioning obedience. Cal, who has a stutter and is highly dependent, carried out Sandalphon's orders without hesitation, often eliminating those who stood in the way of Sandalphon's plans. However, when Cal attempted to attack Lucifer, an opponent far beyond his strength, he was quickly incapacitated. Despite his flaws and the suffering he endured, Cal is deeply protective of his sister, Elaine Belloc. After Elaine's death, Cal played a role in rescuing her soul, although he tragically died during the mission. In recognition of his sacrifices and the hardships he faced, Elaine, after ascending to godhood, brought Cal to life and gave him a chance at a normal human life. She placed him as the son of Matthew Belloc and Barbara Belloc, ensuring that the new family would forget Elaine's existence. Takihiko. Early in the Lucifer comic, we see Lucifer Morningstar confront the gods of Japan to retrieve his wings, outsmarting and defeating them with ease. Despite this confrontation, Izanami, one of the Japanese deities, had a brief fling with Lucifer, which resulted in the birth of their son, Takihiko. Inheriting some of Lucifer's immense power, Takihiko became incredibly powerful and, alongside his mother, attempted to take over Hell. Izanami, who harbored a long-standing grudge against Lucifer, sent Takihiko after his father, leading to a vengeful battle. However, despite his newfound abilities, Takihiko was ultimately defeated by Lucifer and Mazukin.